All righty. Welcome back to the long-awaited podcast here for the playoffs and lottery. It's been about 3 weeks, Poole, but we decided this is a big enough moment for us to get back together and talk a little fantasy football. So, how you feeling?
Well, I'm just happy to be here. It's been a few years since I've been in the playoffs. Last time I was in the playoffs, I actually won it all and then went from first to worst. But yeah, it's been a minute since we've talked. I think the last time we talked, there was 4 or 5 weeks left in the regular season, and a lot's happened since then. The team we thought who was a juggernaut completely missed the playoffs, just completely collapsed, and a surprise team at the bottom found their way in the playoffs during the last week. Had to win to get in, and sure enough, Jack did it.
Yeah, definitely. So, obviously, first week of the playoffs, that's big, but we did a lottery drawing yesterday for draft picks to let we have 4 teams that are excited about the future and not going to be competing for a title this year. That's Garrett, Dalton, Grant, and Q. Lottery didn't go chalk this year. I feel like last year it did, but we've had some occasional upsets. Nothing crazy this year, but it went Q with the 4th pick, Grant 3rd, Dalton 2nd, and Garrett 1st. But as we were talking about earlier, a lot of those picks got moved to different teams. So Garrett still owns the 1st pick. I'm glad. I think we're both, everybody's cheering for Garrett to get a competitive squad out there.
Mm-hmm.
He obviously had a rough year. He deserves the 1st overall pick. I will say his team did look a lot better towards the end of the season.
Oh yeah,
With,
ended up
with
with 3 wins.
yeah, so and I thought there was a chance he may not get any,
Mm-hmm.
but his team's looking better. Dalton got the 2nd pick, but Q owns it. He actually owns 2 lottery picks. That's big for him.
Mm-hmm.
He has a fairly young team, and it's going to get better with him. I think we both kind of agree that Q is going to be a pretty good team next year, especially after that Justin Jefferson move, getting a little younger with Bucky Irving and that team, and then also Egbuka's been really, really good for him.
Mm-hmm.
3rd is going to be Dalton from Grant's pick. We all, like you said, we thought Grant was going to be maybe a team to beat,
Yeah.
and just fell off face of the earth when he got some injuries. Scadaboo,
Mm-hmm.
Garrett Wilson, just to name a few. And then Q owns his own pick. So you mentioned it earlier. Q and Jack played this week essentially for a elimination game because Grant obviously didn't beat Colton. So winner of Q and Jack went to the playoffs. Loser went to the lottery. I'll start with you. Anything about that lottery interest you, or what's your big takeaway from it? I mean, obviously we've talked about Q's good future for a while now on every podcast almost, and it comes to fruition here with him actually being in the lottery and getting 2 of them.
I mean, before the season started, I thought 3 of these 4 teams would make the playoffs, in my opinion. I mean, I thought Q, Dalton, and Grant were all 3 going to be in the playoffs. You kind of figured Garrett was playing for the future. But, yeah, it's really surprising, especially, how the first few weeks of the season started. I thought I was definitely going to be in the lottery again. But, yeah, those 3 I thought would all be contenders this year, and it's just crazy how this year's turned out.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, you never know in fantasy football. Like I said, I mean, Grant was a world beater until he, had injuries, and I'm pretty sure he lost like 4 of his last 5 or something like that to end up missing the playoffs. Even though he did end up with roughly the 4th most points scored in the league, but he did have a lot scored against him too. But obviously the lottery's great. We'll go through our draft, talk about some of the guys that are looking at the top of that list. Off the top of my head, Jordan Tyson, Carnell Tate, Mekhi Lemon from USC, Jeremiah Love. Those are the people that I could see being up there for those guys to try to decide between who wants to be a nice fixture for their team going forward. Because we know just as well as anybody the lottery makes or breaks your team, because it's so nice to get that elite talent at $1 and have your team be able to be built around them. A lot of those teams, especially Ty, has had a lot of success in the lottery, a lot of success in the first round, and you get those cheap contracts, you can really do some damage. But obviously, we're here to talk playoffs. We got 6 teams trying to win the title. 4 of them are playing this week. Me and Ty are on bye, so we won't really focus a ton on us until probably towards the end of the episode, whenever we decide to try to make us a bracket here and predict who's going to win. But we can kind of kick it off with Jake and Jack first. I think we'll start with yours, or we'll finish yours at the end of the episode there, and we'll make that the big rivalry game, the ending conclusion. So Jake and Jack, I'll kind of let you start off talking about it. It may not be the most flashy playoff.
I mean, let's just call it what it is. It's like two dead horses trying to beat each other when they're already dead. Let's just be honest. I mean, yeah, great for Jack getting in, but I mean, either one of these teams, it doesn't matter who wins. They're off to the slaughterhouse after this week. I mean, it does kind of suck for me and Colton because you like to think, each of us could have played one of these guys instead of having the two best teams that are playing this week having to go up against each other. But, I good for them. I mean, they're in the playoffs. It's kind of where I'm at too. But, I mean, it's projected to be a close game. So, I mean, I don't know. I guess Jake gets the 3 points. So, as of now, he'd be projected to win by 2. So, I mean, yeah. I mean, anything can happen this week. I mean, let's see. I definitely think Jake has some better matchups with his players this week. A lot of orange and red when you look at who Jack's got this week. But, yeah, in the grand scheme of things, I mean, whoever wins this week, yeah, you can kind of chalk that up as a win for your year. But whoever wins this game, I think, having to face Ty next week, it's just going to be a really, really tough hill to climb for them.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Jake's had a ton of success early on with 2 championships, with a dominant team. Whenever I was putting in those regular season stats, I mean, he's got an ungodly good record. I can't remember what it is. It's like 64-29 or something crazy. So he's been a really good force, and this year he definitely benefited off of some points against favoritism there. I did notice both these teams average right around 109 points a game, which is one, they both average the same amount, so it's anybody's game, as we know from the projections. But 2, it's at least 15 points less than the remaining playoff teams. And so I'm kind of with you. It's a favorable matchup for both of them, and somebody will go to the Final Four that maybe shouldn't be there. But then again, it's fantasy football. Anything can happen. They're going to play Ty. Ty has a really good team, but also he's kind of thrown up some duds towards the end of the year. And Ty's duds are not 60 points by any means, but you get somebody to score a couple touchdowns for you, get a couple 30-point games. I mean, one of these teams could get to 135, 140 points, and that may be enough to win it. But I would say Vegas would strongly advise, you not doing that with the odds that would come out if these games were on the sports books.
And I don't know if Jake has actually set his lineup yet because he's got Sean Tucker in his lineup right now, and he's only projected 3.5 points. He's got Jacory on his bench, who's projected 5, but I mean, I wouldn't trust him either. But I don't know. He might move that lineup around a little bit. He's got all 4 receivers in his flex spots. So I don't know. He might just keep him in there. I don't know why he's in there, but
yeah, I mean, I feel like there may be a waiver move or 2 done before the end of the year here to try to get somebody who could get you some more points. I mean, obviously it's pretty thin, but you don't want a guy that's projected 3 points for you starting. And I mean, I know he was good there for a little bit when Bucky was out, but he's back. So
he did claim Jalen Wright today. So
yeah, I've seen Achan might be out, so that's a good move. And honestly, that would be a big help against Ty next week if he was out multiple weeks, because that is obviously a running back Ty really relies on. Like you said, I mean, just for my takes, Jake has the favorable matchups, but he does have some question marks. Obviously, Jalen Hurts coming off of Monday night. Surely to God he's not that bad again, but how much are they going to trust him? They are playing Vegas. It's at home. That's nice, but also there's not a lot of dome games with either their teams. So I'm not sure what the weather's supposed to be like, but that always plays a big factor here towards the end of the year. You never know if you're going to get a lot of wind, snow, rain, or anything like that can hamper, especially receivers.
Yep. Yeah, you don't know what they're going to do with Jalen this week. Usually after a game like that, they might have him come out and kind of show, it was a one-off thing. But then again, they might rely on the run game this week just to take a little bit off his plate. You never know. Like you said, it is Vegas. I mean, they don't scare anyone really, but I don't know. I don't know what they think they're going to do this week. But yeah, and then you got Mahomes who's playing against the Chargers this week. That defense is damn good. Obviously, they just showed you against the Eagles this week. So I don't know. Both of them projected right at 20 points, but both of them might have some trouble this week. Who knows?
Yeah, definitely. So, kind of my keys to the matchups. Jack, he's kind of doing the old Matt Poole here. He's starting two running backs from the same team.
I love it.
And that's a little nerve-wracking because, the Chiefs' defense, they're pretty solid against the run, and I'm just not sure on how the splits will be. They've been splitting it a lot more than I figured they would with Hampton and Vidal, but I think Jack's going to come down to if he can get a big game out of Devin Singletary because Tyron Tracy's been out and Singletary's been getting a little bit more work for sure. And then Jack's studs have to show up. Judkins has to play well. Bowers has to play well, and he can maybe pull it out. And really, my big takeaway from Jake is Christian Watson's turned it on a lot here at the end of the year. He's been playing very well, and as a CD Lamb owner, I'm going to go on and assume he's not playing this week. So we all saw what George Pickens does without CD Lamb, so that could be setting up for a big time performance there on Sunday night. Maybe Jake needs it. So I would be comfortable if I was, heading into Sunday night, needing a big game out of George Pickens, believing that he could do it for me.
Yep.
So that'll pretty much call it for that. We'll do our predictions at the end of who we think's going to win. Like Poole said, Jaco is getting 3 points on top for being the favorite there, the higher seed. And he did get the 3 seed. It's not like he snuck into the playoffs. He won a decent amount of games there, but I don't know how he did it.
Yeah.
So the next one is at the top of the bracket. Winner's going to face me. It's going to be a pretty harsh rivalry. I'm sure there's going to be some words exchanged for sure.
There will be. There's going to be.
It's going to be Colton and yours truly, Matt Poole. I will talk about it first, and I will let you talk about it after. So Colton has been a dominant team for a long time. His team's pretty solid now. He's had some kind of unfortunate matchups, but realistically, you guys have been around the same amount. Point total for the year, 2 points difference. He's averaging 126, you're 124. So two very good fantasy football teams. The big things for me, for Colton specifically, is doesn't look like Drake London's going to play tomorrow. Kyle Pitts has been getting a lot of work. I know he's a Kyle Pitts rider. So you got to hope to leave Thursday night. And I would say anything below, 8 points or below from Kyle Pitts is a success because they're not going to throw it to anybody like Bijan, maybe. Like Darnell Mooney, I guess. But you just got to hope he doesn't score a lot of touchdowns for you. For Colton, obviously, he's going to want to see a big game. The next big thing is he's rode Jonathan Taylor all year. We all know the situation the Colts are in. They just signed Phillip Rivers. Riley Leonard may play, may not. I don't see how Seattle, who's a very good team, does not just stack the box against Jonathan Taylor. So right now he's projected 17. He definitely could get it. He's an insane talent. He could end up with 35. But I think it's going to be tough sledding for him. A lot tougher than the rest of the year's been, with Daniel Jones back there making some plays. And that kind of goes in part two with Alec Pierce. I've talked to Colton today actually about Alec Pierce, and he has been solid the last 3 or 4 weeks. I believe he's been in double digits. He is a massive big play threat, but he has been catching some more balls in the intermediate routes. But he's going to need that final flex spot to do well because, at the end of the day, those are the people that are going to determine if you're going to win in the playoffs a lot of times, or your flex guys who may be your 5th, 6th option. If they can have a good game, go for 20 plus, it puts you in a great spot. So he's going to obviously have to decide there in that final flex spot if it's going to be Alec Pierce. I've heard some chatter he might throw in Devin Neal. Pull your guy from
Yeah,
before the season started. You
that would
Scadaboo and
suck.
Devin Neal. Great
Yeah,
call. Didn't draft either one of them.
yeah, that would suck. I was dead set, just like the movie Draft Day, on Devin Neal. Devin Neal, no matter what, and I didn't take him just because it didn't make sense where I was picking. So if he starts him and he beats me, yeah, that's gonna be pretty rough.
It's
That
gonna
one's
hurt.
gonna
Yeah,
hurt for a long time.
for sure. So he's got some choices to make there. Devin Neal, Quentin Johnson, Tony Pollard, or Alec Pierce. I feel like will probably be the four he'll decide on, and I think that'll definitely make or break how competitive this game is, because you have somebody like that, like Pollard, have a game like he did last week. It's going to be really tough to overcome. But he hadn't had a game like that really all year, so it is what it is. And for you, I think the first big thing is if T. Higgins is going to play or not, because I saw where he went in the concussion protocol Sunday night, Monday morning. You're going to know more about it than I am. But he's been massive for you since Burrow came back. I mean, he's had some big games.
Yeah. So Sunday he started, then hit his head again, came out, came back in, and hit his head again right before halftime. Didn't start the second half, then came back out, caught another ball, and you could just tell he wasn't all there, but he toughed through it. As of now, he was in individual drills today, so I would think he's going to play this week. I really need it because I've also got Jake Ferguson and Marv, both are questionable right now. I have my doubts Marv plays. I hope he does, just because I would rather start him than some of these other options I've got on the bench. But we'll just have to see closer to Sunday how it looks.
Yeah. So I guess my biggest takeaway for this year was I feel like the whole year it was kind of a Poole's not supposed to be here thing. We've talked about it. At one point, you were starting like 3 tight ends, 2 tight ends, 4 running backs from 2 teams. You've nickel and dimed your way to a playoff spot, and a pretty solid team, really. So, congratulations, obviously, on that. You're getting, like I said, though, I mean, you're down 10 on the projections and 3 more because he's the favorite. But that doesn't necessarily mean a lot. We've learned. I think the next big story is your running back dilemmas. You've kind of faced them all year. You have to pick and choose who you want to play, who you think's going to have the big game, get the most touches, stuff like that. You do have some favorable running back matchups. CMC plays the Titans. He could have 40. He could, or he could come out at halftime and because they're up 35-7. That's kind of tough. Dowdle plays my Saints, and they haven't looked good against the run all year. Your team's been fairly boom or bust as well. You get Juwan Jennings, people like that can have a high floor, a high ceiling, or a high ceiling, but sometimes have a low floor. But it's mainly the running backs. The running backs obviously could lose some work to guys that you have on your bench that you don't play, or starting 2 tight ends is always risky. But Dowdle has had some massive games to lead you to some wins to get you in this spot too.
Yeah.
And then really, I mean, the last thing is you had a big week last week against me. Full team.
I had the B squad after last week. Yeah.
Yeah, you may have won. I mean, so can you continue that? I know I always get more scared of people regressing after big weeks than like keeping it going, just because a lot of times people regress to the means. They get on film, they see, something what a team's trying to do, and it's always changing. But I mean, you showed last week that you still have the firepower, even though some of these running backs have kind of went back to committees and stuff like that. So I definitely am looking forward to it. Obviously, I'm going to play the winner, and so I wouldn't mind to see some duds thrown up, a couple injuries sprinkled in, but it is what it is on that. So at least I'm on the sidelines watching it. So I'll let you talk about the big rivalry matchup this week.
Yeah, I'm not going to talk about this other dude's team very much because this is just more about, he's talked down on me all year pretty much. Called me a Mickey Mouse team. My team, we didn't shy away from that. We embraced that. That is our motto this year. Just a big group of misfits that shouldn't be here. And you know what? Fuck it, we're here. And we're projected to lose by 13 right now, but we don't look at that. Just like you said last week, you were projected like 140 points. I was projected 100, and we ended up scoring 130 with all my backups in. Now saying that, I do have some injury concerns this week. Obviously T, which I think he'll be fine. I'm not sure about Ferguson. I haven't looked at that yet. And then looking at Marv, I think it's a little more doubtful he plays. And going off what you said, if Marv is out, I'll put one of these either Jawan Jennings or T Higgins up in his spot, and I'll have to play one of these running backs who's in a committee here now, whether that's Charbonnet, Chuba or Monunga. I'm not sure yet. It might go off matchup, might go off just who's projecting the most, but I don't know. Like you said, I trust that they'll go out there and get me what I need. It's just I'm going to need some of his players to kind of throw up duds. I think Jonathan Taylor probably gets closer to what he's projected than not, just because he is an absolute freak. I don't think Alec Pierce does much. It depends on who's starting at quarterback. I don't think it's going to be Phillip Rivers. Who's their backup?
Riley Leonard's right now.
Exactly. Who the fuck's that? Yeah, I don't think they throw for very many yards. I think Seattle wins that game pretty handedly. Pitts, yeah, he'll probably get 7 to 10 points. The guys I'm really worried about this week are obviously Jamar and Tet, because Tet's really been coming on this second half of the season, and Jamar's Jamar. Nico, they've got some tough matchups, but they're good enough players where I think, they can still go out there and grind out what their projections are. It's all just going to come down to if my team greatly exceeds expectations, or if some of his players kind of don't get what they're projected. But either way, I'm not worried, especially after last week. I projected to have like 80 points last week, and, my team came out and showed me that they're going to fight for me. And no matter what, I love that. But no, this is my Super Bowl. So I know if I play you next week, you're going to fucking slaughter me. It's all about, he's talked this team down all year, run his mouth. Maybe that's the reason he hasn't won a championship yet, because he's just so fucking conceited about it. But I just want him to know, Sunday, I'm wearing all black. I'm coming for you, because I'm going to bury your fucking ass. You're done.
There it is.
I don't care how many fucking points you're projected to win by. I'm coming for your ass, so just be ready. I don't want any fucking excuses. I don't want any Jonathan Taylor excuses. I don't want none of it. I don't want any Justin Herbert broken fucking hand excuses. Nothing. When I beat you, you sit down and you shut up.
Love it. Right on. That's why we play this game right here. That's why we play this game. All right. Well, I think it's about time for some predictions here.
Yep.
We will. I'd say it'll probably be. I don't know. We may do a podcast next week. We may not. Me and Ty, I don't feel like there's really that much to talk about. My main takeaway from me is hopefully CeeDee Lamb does play next week, but there's so much that can change between now and then with injuries or whatever it may be that it's kind of hard to throw the projection out that far. But we may have a podcast coming next week, but we can at least try to predict out here and make our NCAA tournament style March Madness bracket and see who we think is going to take home the crown. I'll let you go first, and if you want to just go through the games here and give your full bracket, and then I'll do mine.
Oh, are we going all the way to the championship?
Yeah, I can go first if you want. It doesn't matter.
Oh no, I got it. So yeah, obviously Jack and Jake, crazy run for Jack just to even be here. I know the night of the redraft, I went out to eat with him and Colton, and kind of grew an alliance that night. We were kind of trying to help each other out. We know we kind of been down the last couple of years, and we're both in the playoffs, so it's been a pretty good year for both of us. But I think Jake just has that pedigree of longevity in this league. I think he finds a way to win this week. And then me and Colton, I don't care what the numbers say, I'm beating him this week. I don't care. Obviously, that'll take us to the semifinals. I think you throttle me pretty easily, and then I also think Ty throttles Jake pretty easily. And that, leaves us to the championship. Been a collision course for this championship all year, I think, you and Ty. I think it'll be pretty close, but I think it's going to be 2 out of 3 for you. I think you beat Ty this year. I don't know. Your team, I feel like, has just been a little more consistent than his. I definitely think the championship match, it's going to be within 10 points, whoever it is that wins. But I think your team, just being as consistent as they have been, just finds a way to get it done.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to go on and say that that's my champion too. So I'll start with Jack and Jake. To be honest, I think Jack gets him. I know the Vidal Hampton thing is not the best, but Blake Corum has come on really well these last 2 weeks, and Devin Singletary is getting a lot of carries. I think those bottom two guys for him combined for 30ish and lead him to the next round to Ty, who I do think is going to win handily. Yeah. And then for you and Colton, I mean, I would love to pick you, man, but you can put bulletin board material here.
No, we love it. That's what we love over here. Put it up.
I think Colton's going to get you. Unfortunately, I mean, and the biggest thing is he's had one of the better teams all year. He's had some very unfortunate circumstances. I would honestly love to see Burrow not be playing right now because Chase was terrible when that was going on. But he's back. He's looking at T. Higgins. I hope T. Higgins plays because of that too. If not, he's going to force feed. Jamar Chase may have 25 targets, but I do think Colton sneaks out a win there. Honestly, I mean, I'm either one. I'm terrified of my matchup. I'm going to be, a little bit of a hater here, but I got screwed on this 1 seed because, you're looking at people projected 130 something, 100, 125. People averaging 125 plus a week, and Ty's down there with, I'm going to say, the Mickey Mouse side of the bracket. It was horse shit that he gets those guys after losing to me, giving me the 1 seed, and then it is what it is. But you got to be the best. You got to beat the best. So I'm going to go on and say that I'm going to advance, and I'm going to beat the fucking brakes off of Ty. I'm going to say that right now. I'm going to send him. It's going to be payback for last year. I think it's going to be a rematch, and he's not getting me this year. So he's been okay, towards the end here. But I mean, I don't know. He hasn't really just wow factored me as much as he did at the beginning. So we'll see. I mean, obviously he has a lot of talent. He has guys like Jahmyr Gibbs and hopefully Achane if he plays, and people like that are ability to get about 40 on you. But Dave Montgomery ain't the most consistent. He's starting Gadsden at tight end. I'm just looking at his team real quick here, but he just don't have the depth, I don't think. And then obviously Lamar has let him down a lot. So hopefully that trend continues. But only time will tell. I guess we'll see how the playoffs go. Hopefully we have a collision course next week, and if we do, I guarantee you we'll be on the podcast. But
definitely a tougher road for you. Just having to play what would be the 2 best teams left of these 4, while Ty gets to referee that pat cake match down there between Jack and Jake. But yeah, I think it's just a collision course for y'all 2 in the championship. It's what it's been most of the year, other than Grant, had his little stint. But just still crazy that his team just flatlined as much as it did. I can't believe it.
Yeah. No, I mean, well, we've seen some crazy stuff. Whenever I won that title, it was the 5 and 6 versus each other. So it's fantasy football. You have no idea what's going to happen, who's going to go down, who's going to have 40 on you. I mean, I've had some crazy. Remember that Tyreek Hill game where you scored 40 on me in the last week to knock. So it is what it is. But yeah, I'm looking forward to just being on the sidelines this week. It's a lot less stressful than having to play. It's a lot easier to win 2 games than 3. Well, good luck to all the playoff teams. I'm looking forward to watching y'all's matchup, and also that pillow fight down there in the bottom of the bracket. It is what it is. I know they're going to get mad at us for hating on them, but I mean, Jesus Christ, you score 109 a game, you don't deserve to be in the playoffs. That's all right though. Jake's been here before. Jake has the pedigree. Jake's only 2-time champion. He knows how to win.
Yep.
So defense wins championships. Jack has a championship. something funny before we end. The only team that doesn't have a championship in the playoffs is that 4 seed down there at Colton County. So who knows? It might be his year.
Guy talks a lot for not even having a championship. Has he even made a championship game?
I don't know. I don't.
Man, that
not
just
recently.
man,
Not
I feel
recently.
so bad for him. Just feel so bad for him. The world against Colton County, man. It's just everyone against him. That's how it always is. No, I
This could be his year.
No,
I don't know.
No. I'm wearing all black Sunday. I'm going to bury him. He ain't making it out of the first round.
I love it.
I don't care if I'm projected to lose by 30. I'm fucking beating his ass this week.
Right on. Hey, who knows? He's had some dud weeks, so you could and you've also you could score 170, but I guess only time will tell. It'll start tomorrow night, so
Can't wait.
We're gonna go on. We're gonna start. Can't wait. What was his name that did that?
Terrell Suggs or someone. I can't remember exactly who it was. No, I don't think it's Terrell. I can't remember who it was.
But on the Jets. Yeah.
Can't wait. But, this is the. I know there's two. I know there's two teams below us that's projected like 100 points this week. Don't care. This is the one I wanted. I want this one.
Fair enough.
Yep.
Meet them head on collision.
Let's do it.
All right. Well, we're going to sign off. Good luck to the playoff teams. Like I said, we may or may not be back on here next week. I know the fans have been itching for a pod, though, so we had to get on here and give our 2 cents about the lottery and the
and just going forward, like we might have another podcast during these playoffs, but for sure, I think as far as off-season content goes, like maybe we'll do one every couple of weeks about each team and just kind of like where they're at, maybe what we think they do going forward, some moves they make. And then obviously, once draft time comes around, we'll have a little draft special and we'll talk about that, and then like a post-draft thing. And then I think our next thing after that would be a few months down the road when the redraft comes around, just kind of doing some stuff to keep the league chat going throughout the off season. So,
yeah, obviously it's Dynasty, so it's year round. For us, having the salaries and stuff, you're not picking up players and dropping them and everything else, but people can make moves and different things happen throughout the NFL that can set people up for some success or failure. So, yeah, like Poole said, I like the idea of maybe going through a couple teams in podcasts and talking about their future and where they're at and what they're doing. So, and then draft time, we'll hit it hard again. That's whenever everybody gets really excited for this league again, I think. So.
Oh, yeah.
But with nothing else, like I said, good luck to the playoff teams. Looking forward to seeing you or Colton next week. I'm sure Ty's excited to get his matchup as well. Maybe who knows? We might have a new champion in Colton County. We may have a 3-time champion in Jake Ogle, or somebody's trying to get their second ring and really establish a dynasty here. So only time will tell. In 3 weeks, we'll crown one, and until then, it's just all eyes on the playoffs. The 4 teams that are in the lottery are looking forward to the future, but they're not going to be fighting for any titles, unfortunately.
Nope.
All right. Catch you later.
Peace.